or not done your assignment, then do let me know. At least you had a try. So first of all, I'm going to ask Mushtaba. Hi, Mushtaba. Mushtaba.
Hello.
Hi. So have you done your assignment?
Yes.
So did you share with me
Yes.
on my email?
Yeah.
Okay, so get and check the assignment. Okay, I will check it later because today we are going to very important topic. And what about you, Azan Shahid? Have you done your assignment? Azan?
No, wait, not yet.
Not yet? Do you find any difficulty?
No, I'll try to do it tomorrow because I just didn't have time to do it.
Okay.
Or I could just do it tonight and I'll
Okay,
get to you.
okay, no problem, no problem. If you find any difficulty, do you have my email and get back to you? Okay. What about you, Rehan and Arush? Have you done your assignment?
Not yet.
Not yet? Why? Any difficulty you found in the assignment?
A bit.
A little bit. Okay, let's. Okay, got it. And what about you, Abdul Majid? Abdul Majid, are you there? Okay, tell me about you, Abu Bakr. Have you done your assignment? And where is Umar?
Umar's joining.
Okay, and have you done your assignment?
Yes. Me and Umar did it together and we sent it.
Yes, I already have your assignment, but that was a little bit. Anyways, we shall discuss about the assignment in the last of today's lecture. Today, we are going to discuss about strings. Now, the strings is one of the interesting topic. Why interesting topic? Because in strings, we are going to display something on a screen, like your name. If you are going to ask someone, what is your name? And then your program will give them the output. What is the name of that person? So today we are going to discuss about strings. Now, there are a few examples in which we are going to say if someone is going to write something in double quotes, in these quotes, in the quotations, then it means we are talking about strings. What kind of strings do we are going to talk about? So let me have to let you know about how does this work. So whenever someone is going to display something in double quotes, then it means someone is talking about something which is going to be printed on a screen as it is, like hello. Let's take an example in code. So it's gonna be make more clear to you if we're going to do the same thing in coding. So I'm gonna make another program in which I'm going to say it string, str, string. Now, I'm going to make a program in which I'm going to tell people what I'm going to print on my screen. So I'm going to say string is equal to hello class. And I'm going to say print that screen on print that variable on my screen. So when I'm going to run this program, it will gonna say hello class to my string. So this is how we are gonna print the strings on a screen. So this is a basic example of a string. When you're going to write something in double quotes, it prints as it is on the output, as it is in the output. Okay, so these are the three different examples in which we are going to write strings in a different ways. Now, what's new? What's new we are going to say? The new one we are going to do is to print the string and going to make a colorful combination of different stuff using strings and concatenating problems like hi, there, and something like it. But before we are going to move towards here, let's take another example of a string, but in a different way. Like how? Now, the different way is I'm going to say again, string is equal to, now this time I'm going to use single quotations. Welcome Umar to the class. Now this time I'm going to take a single quotation but 3 times. Now I'm going to say hello class. Now this is another way to print a string, but this time I'm going to use a different way. Now in this way, in this different way, I'm going to get hello in the same manner. str. There is no difference between these two types, but the major difference is hello class, it's gonna be say the same thing. But what is the major difference into this string and the first one? What is the major difference? So let's take a Python console and see the major difference. So I'm going to write the same program on my Python console as it is. And whenever I'm going to say print string, you will see string hello class. And when I'm going to say the same another way, it's gonna print the same thing. But as you see, my string gonna in red. It means this string get a huge space in my memory besides this one. So when it's gonna read, we have to go through the original system files and you'll see the all files are in red color. It means my system is in the protected way. So the first part of my variable, the first string, it took a huge memory. Let's take. So what is memory? Let's talk about a memory. When you're going to have a cell phone or a tablet or iPhone or iPad or something like it, these two. So let's take, this is a Samsung device and this is an iPhone. Most of you have Samsung or iPhone devices at your home or the laptop. So whenever you're going to install something, it needs a memory. Both of them contain a memory so that we are easily install something into our phones. So whenever we talk about something in double quotes, it means it's gonna contain huge memory in both of them. It's gonna contain the huge memory in both of them. Mean to say, let's see, let's suppose this can contain 4 space into a memory. And this will contain only 1 space from the memory. So this is a basic difference in string, how we're going to write something on a screen. So let's ask from you. Okay, I'm not going to clear this one before I'm going to ask things from you. Okay, so I'm going to start with Mustafa. Did you get the point?
Yeah, I think I got it.
Okay, what about you, Azan? Azan, did you get the point?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, what about you, Abu Bakr and Umar?
Yes.
Both of you? Umar? Okay, I guess both of you can
Hello?
easily. Yeah, Umar, are you getting the
I
point?
got it.
Okay. What about you, Rehan and Arush?
Yeah, we've got the point.
Okay. And Abdul Majid? Abdul Majid, are you there? Okay. Let's talk him another time. Okay. Now going to do a little bit more with strings. Now we are going to print strings and we are going to join two strings in one manner. Two strings in one way. Like how? So let's take an example, str, another string, and I'm going to say hello, concatenate for the plus with plus, and I'm going to say class, and I'm going to say print str. Now you will see the difference. So let's take, okay, and I'm going to use the console. So let's take terminal and run formation. So what is the difference between in them? So let's take a look. See, there is no difference between these three types of a string. This is how we're gonna type of strings. But what happened in the third one? What happened in the third one? Let's take another way. Okay, let's talk about the third one. Whenever we are going to ask a memory to print something like Samsung or an iPhone, so whenever it's going to print something out of it, it means it has a values in it. It contains a values. What value? Now here in this syntax in which we are going to write hello plus class, it means this plus sign help us to join these two strings, class and hello. So these two strings is able to join with the help of a plus sign. So plus sign can help us to join both of the strings. But in memory, how does this work? In the memory part, how does this work? So I'm going to get this one, going to the Python console and going to print it. Now you will see both of them can contain the values, and this time the new string have a value but lesser than this part, lesser than both of them. So technically it means we have a string. First string is string contain greater memory than str, and str contain greater memory than strr. So this is all about to contain the memory and its spaces, which means if we have a space, like this way, so whenever we are going to write the first string, it contains 4 spaces, then 2 spaces or a 1 space. But the third string contain less than 1 string, so it contains 0.5 in the space. So it means the half of 1 space, 1 byte, which means whenever we are going to store something like in this way, it contains a little bit memory from the program. So that's why sometimes devices can have a huge memory, so they can have the access to all of it. So that's why Samsung and all other memories can contain a huge memory attributes like 128 gigabytes or something like more into it. Now let's take another example of a string. Now this time I'm going to use two types of variables. Now, what kind of type of variable? Two types of variables. So I'm going to use another string. Now, stng, which is equals to, I'm going to play with hello, but I'm going to multiply this hello by 23. Now see what happens. How much space does this contain? So stg. Now let's see what this mean, what happens. As you see, it contains the spaces and it has printed hello 23 times. So this concatenation have meanings. Now, when we done the concatenation using the addition sign, it add two variable into one, like in the third way. Now, when we multiply hello 23 times and print it, it will show us 23 times hello on our screen. So this is how the string can do magic. Now, the greater magic is going to be done. Now, we are going to do a greater magic. Like how? Now, with the help of our strings, we are going to make a message box in which you can have only the submit button and something like it. So for that thing, I'm going to use a little bit strings and strings programs. Now, okay, what if I'm going to print the characters in this way? It will also show the character in hello, and it's gonna be like the same way. But now this time I'm going to have something that is unique, that is index, strings index. So let's find out the memory place of a string from a variable. The memory space. Memory space means where does this program contain spaces? So I'm going to ask you, first I'm going to make a program, then I'm going to ask you, what does it mean? So let's start. So I'm going to say name is equals to, name is my name in which I'm going to store a string, and which is, I'm going to say Python class. And it's not gonna be like that way, so I'm going to put in a string. So it's gonna be like Python class. Now the Python class is a variable or a string for me. Now, if I'm going to say, I'm going to print name at 0, index, 0 index. Mean to say, I'm gonna show you in a way like, okay, so it's gonna be like name of 0. It will show me something like, now this time, okay, let's take the same example like hello class. Now this time, at the fourth state, I'm going to get only age. I'm going to get only age. So whenever I'm going to say 0, it means I'm talking about age. So technically, when I say, okay, let's take example like HELLO, hello class. So whenever I say 0, whenever I say 0, it means 0 for H, 1 for E, 2 for L, 3 for L, 4 for 0, 4 for O, 5 for space, 6 for C, 7 for L, 8 for A, 9 for S, and 10 for again S. Now this is how the strings can work in index. This is how we're gonna find the address of a variable. Address of a variable. Address mean when something is going to store into a memory. When something is going to store into a memory, it contains some address which a human can easily understand. Like, let's take a memory. Now this is our memory, and this is addresses. So whenever, okay, let's take, I'm going to say, whenever you are going to type H, it's stored into a memory. So whenever you're going to type E, L, L, O, so whenever you're going to type something like this way, it has an address in a memory. It contains addresses into a memory. So it has 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So whenever we type hello, it calls a memory. It calls a memory. So hello H can be printed on 0. It's not like every time if you replace hello H from something else, then that replace from. So E contain 1, L contain 2, L contain 3, and O contain 4 into a memory. So this is how the computer memory works. So let's take another example. Like here, if I'm going to say print, again, going to say name, and this time I'm going to put 4 equals to and name 4 and run it, and you'll see 4 contain oh hello. So this is how the memory and the strings work. So in technical programming of Python, we say this whole thing is like an index. Indexing. Indexing means we are going to map words with memory. This is how we're gonna map words with memory so that our computer can easily understand what we are talking about and what we need to be. So let's take another example of the same thing. So I'm going to print name, and this time I'm going to print 8 and name of 8, and you will see A. As I told you, A is on 8. So this is how the memory allocation works. Indexing, mapping the words work in a program. Now, let's take another example, but this time we are going to take a negative variable, not a positive variable. So I'm going to say print, and for print, I'm going to do name and going to say -1, and going to say name and -1. Now, what will happen? Now, this is another way. Now this is another way. Whenever we are going to see -1 or minus something digits, so our memory starts in reverse order. Our memory starts in reverse order. Like how? So whenever I say -1, it's gonna map my -1 to S, the last S. And when I'm going to say in positive, it's gonna be 10, but in negative, it's gonna be like -1. It's not gonna be 0 because 0 stands for hello. Now we are going to print our variable in reverse order. So whenever we are going to print something in reverse order, I'm going to say -1. Now, how does this work? So I'm going to say run it, and you will see my answer is S. So whenever we are going to say -1, it go to the end and print the last digit of that variable, of that string. This is how memory, index, and mapping of the words work in Python. Now, another great example of the strings. And after it, we are going to make a small dialog box with the help of a string and a variables. Okay. Now, I need some words in between some index, in between some indexes. So what I need to do? So what I need to do is, so I'm going to remove this arrow. Okay. Now, I'm going to take another example in which I'm going to say I need some digits in between the range. Now, what range I need to? So first of all, I'm going to start from 0 to 5. 0 to 5. So I'm going to use name, and here I'm going to say 0 colon 5. So in both way, now what is going to be happen? So in this variable, it's gonna be say hello. From 0 to 5, it's gonna be say hello. Now what happens? As I told you, whenever we are going to have a program in the mapping way, in the maps, so it maps. So here we have a digit 5 is a space. This is 5. So that's why it prints a space after hello. So it only contains hello. So whenever we say 0 to 5, so 0 from H to 5, it's gonna be like hello. And if we are going to say print name 0 to 6, name 0 to 6. Now you will see hello, and again another space in between the letters. Now this is that space which is to be needed after 6 because it's a memory. So whenever I'm going to say 7, it's gonna print C with a space. Now, as you see, it contains a space and then C. So whenever you're going to allocate an indexing and a memory, you will be very careful while indexing. So name is printed and another variable is printed on a screen. So this is how we map variables in memory. So this is how the memory works in any kind of programming language. This is how the strings work in a program. Now, I'm gonna ask you guys, Alian just joined us, so welcome to the class. And Alian, let us know about, let me know about, did you get the point? Do you get the point?
Yes.
Okay, what about you, Mustafa?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, Azan Shahid. Azan.
Yeah. I got it.
Okay. Abu Bakr and Umar.
Yes.
Okay, Rehan and Arush.
Yeah.
Okay, and Abdul Majid. Abdul Majid. Okay, I guess he is. Okay, now we are going to move forward with the strings. Now with that way, we are going to make a little bit program for a dialog box in which you are going to ask something. So I'm going to say it's dialog dial. So that's gonna be like dial. Now this program can contain strings and the helping libraries. Now, what I'm going to take as an helping library for my string. Like, so there were the rules, start from the each character's position called and its index. As I told you, so index starts from 0 space inside, strings are counted as I told you about it. Now, let's take about the variables, and before we are going to take a variable, we are going to make a dialog box with the help of a strings. So let's take a helping library. Helping library means to say I'm going to take an help from my computer that I don't even understand how I'm going to make a dialog box like, so I'm going to make a square like this way, not like this tangled, a proper square. So let's try it again to make it a proper square. Okay, okay, a little bit more appropriate square. Okay, so I'm going to make a square like this one. So I need a help from my computer to design this kind of square. Now, what kind of help I'm going to take? So from the computer, so I need them to think Tkin is thinker. So what is going to be do? So I'm going to import whole settings. Whole settings mean I'm going to have millions of words, letters, and strings like this way. So I'm going to let you know how this works. Now, again, I'm going to take a help from him, from that library, and import message box. So I'm going to import a message box in which I'm going to print my message. Now, I'm going to say there is a main library which contain TK for my think box. So it's going to be like think box, which is going to be printed on the screen. Now, what I just do, I just did I ask my computer, with the help of think. So this is going to be my computer, and it's going to be my keyboard, like that way. So this is my keyboard, and it's going to be designed a very funky one. So my keyboard is very funky and stylish. Okay. Now this is my programming screen. Though this is my programming screen in which I'm going to have, I need to print something. Now, with the help of computer memory, it's a computer brain. So this is called the computer brain, and it's gonna be like my CPU. So this is my CPU. It's like a computer brain. So I'm going to take a help from a computer brain. So I write Tkinter. So this gonna be used the computer brain. Now, with the help of this helping computer brain, I'm going to ask a little help more. So I'm going to ask him again and say, I'm going to import a message box. So my instruction, go to the brain, and this computer brain will go to the memory, and say, now there is some kind of message box we are going to print on the screen. So this is my memory, which is called RAM, random access memory. Now CPU gives the instruction to the RAM, and RAM is ready to print the message box on a screen. Now what will be the message? What will be the message? So I'm going to define define my message with the button. So I'm going to define a function, means to say I'm going to define an instructions. So it's gonna be like submit instructions to my computer, and I'm going to say what will be my message. So my message box contain ask question. My message box will gonna ask me a question. So from, in double quotes, from form which contain a message which is equals to the messages. So what message? This is Python class. Now this is my message I'm going to print. Now the interface, in which the interface mean how much height, width of my message box to be printed on a screen. Now my CPU, with the help of with the help of this Tkinter, my CPU will ask a memory. Now we are going to contain a message box over here. A message box over here. Okay. Now the message box with the help of that CPU. Okay, so with the help of that CPU, I'm going to print the message box. So what message I'm going to be printed on my computer screen? So on my computer screen, so this is gonna be my computer screen. It's gonna be like keyboard, my CPU, the brain of a computer, the RAM, which has a memory in it. Now, I'm going to provide an instruction from my message box that I'm going to ask a question. So whenever I say the message box, it goes to the CPU. So my CPU will give the instruction to the memory, and my memory will gonna print something on a screen. So I'm going to define the width and height of this message box. Now, the width and the height of my message box. So I'm going to say main screen. So it's gonna be like geometry. So it's gonna be like 100 by 100. So I'm going to say 100 width and 100 height of my screen. And now my button. For the box, I need to print a button. I need to have a button so that I can have that message be printed. So I'm going to say B for my button, which is equals to the button which I am going to have. So I'm going to print a string that I have in main, comma, text. That string is in text formation, which is equals to, that is, so my string is submit, S-U-B-M-I-T, submit. So my string have a command, C-O-M-M-A-N-D, command, which is equals to submit. So whenever, okay, now I'm going to ask my CPU once again to print a button on my screen. So B equals B dot pack. Pack is another helping library for my message box. And I'm going to say main dot main loop. It's gonna print, and I'm going to run the program. But okay, first I run the program, then I will let you know what happens. Okay, so this is my button string. So it's gonna be like, okay, so this is a Python class. Is it yes? Yes. Is it no? Then we don't have any other instruction to be printed on a screen. So what happens? Right now, what happens, what we done with the help of a string? So strings is the most powerful language, is a most powerful dialog box for any programming language, in which a computer can easily understand what you are going to do with the help of a string, what you are going to do to be printed on your screens, what you are going to do be printed on your screen. So let's take not another example. So I'm going to explain what happens in this program. Okay, so I'm going to clear it. First, I'm going to let you know, and then I'm going to ask you, do you have any difficulty? Then you have to let me know. Okay, so this is going to be my computer or a laptop or anything. And this is my CPU. This is my memory, and this is me. A good, or not good at trying. So this is me. And I'm going to put like, this is my CPU in red because it contains a memory. Okay, so this is my RAM, random access memory. So it's gonna be like in blue. Okay. And this is my system or a computer or a laptop. And this is me. So I'm going to put my color white. So this is gonna be me or you. So the computer can only understand the computer language. So that's all we know. The computer can only understand the machine language. The machine language only. So the computer can only understand the machine language. But we are the humans and we know and we need computers to do work with us. It's like a robot. It's like a robots to us. Robots to us. Now, what we have to do? So we have some instruction to be printed on our screen. So first, we have a computer program running into my computer. So I have a computer program in which I'm going to put some instructions. So my instructions are in the form of anything. So these are my instructions to the computer. So I gave instruction to my computer. I gave instructions to the computer. Now the computer will gonna ask the CPU, which is actually the brain of a computer. So brain of a computer. I'm talking about me. I'm the programmer. So I need help from the CPU. So I'm going to use this helping library to make my CPU understand what I need to be printed on a screen. Then I'm going to ask another help. I'm going to ask this CPU, this helping library, to do something for me. What? Now I'm going to ask a CPU to do something for me. What they have to do is to print a message box. So my CPU will gonna ask a memory that a user, me, needs some memory for a program into my system, into my computer. So my memory make a space into my program to print something on a screen. So it's gonna be like a message box. So it reply back to my CPU that yes, I'm having a space into the system that you needed, which is called a message box. So now my system is ready to understand me. So my system is ready to understand me. What I'm going to say to the computer. Now, for me, I'm going to ask a computer to print something that it's gonna be like main function. So main memory. So this main call upon a CPU once again and ask what type of instruction do CPU have right now? So what type of instruction do CPU have right now? So my CPU have the instructions. Okay, so my CPU have an instructions which need to be printed on a screen. So this main function gonna ask a memory. This main function gonna ask a memory, what type of instruction do you have to be printed on a screen? So my RAM have some instruction in it. Those instructions are, so it go back to the CPU and ask the CPU, do I am going to execute the instruction? The CPU said yes, and again it go back to the memory and say, do you have the instructions? So what type of instruction do the memory going to be have? Okay, so the instructions are, they need to print, they need to submit something on a screen. So I'm going to define submit to be printed on a screen. Now, message box, what message I need to be printed on my screen? So I ask question from the user, from me. Actually, the computer is going to ask a question from me. What do you need to be printed on a screen? So I replied in double quotation that I need this is Python class to be printed on my screen. So my computer acts like, now these instruction, this is Python class, these instruction will go to the CPU. This instruction will go to the CPU. So this instruction will go to the CPU, and then this CPU will gonna print the instructions of this class. Then I'm going to ask my system CPU once again that I need some instruction to be printed on a screen, and those instructions will be like in some kind of box. So my box height and width is 100 centimeters. It's gonna be in 100 pixel, you can say 100 into 100 pixel. So now I need a button to be printed on my screen. So for that thing, again ask a computer to print a button which have some text on it, that is submit, and call the definition, call the instructions I gave to my system, that is submit. So this instruction will appear on my command, and this will gonna say, now I'm going to pack my instruction into our system, and this is going to say main dot main loop. So it's gonna be print things on my system. So that's why whenever we are going to run the program, it will appear this screen. Now this is my screen. This is my screen I need to be printed, and this is my button I need to be printed on a screen, which is submit, this one. And whenever I say submit, it will say to me that this is a Python class. So whenever I say submit, so it asks a user value. So this is my user value. So this will be printed as you see on a screen. So this is a Python class. If I say yes, so definitely it is yes. And if I say no, then it doesn't happen, because we don't pass the further instruction to this system. So it will appear only the one thing at the same time. So this is the working of a string in which the computer can easily understand what do you want to be printed on a screen. Now, let's take 5 to 6 minutes of break. And if you have any question, then take a break for a while, drink something, drink like juice or water, and eat if you want to eat something. So come back after 5 minutes and we shall discuss it once again. And then I'm going to ask a question. If you have any question, then we shall, I can give you the answer and then we shall move after it. So let's take a break for 5 minutes. So I'm gonna see you in 5. Now, what I just done, now I have, first of all, I would like to know that everyone is present besides, okay, Halian is not there, only person is not here. Okay. Now, let's take back to the example. Now, I'm going to have my computer and like a keyboard I need to be printed or something like it. I'm going to have, and now I have me, a person. So it's gonna be like a person with going to be have some programs over the computer system. So it's gonna be like me, and I'm going to have a program on a system, and I'm going to have my system memory. So it's called a CPU, and then the RAM of my system. So this is the whole communication way my computer is going to be needed. My computer is going to be needed the whole communication way. Now, first, whenever I'm going to say I need any program on my system to be printed, so definitely I'm going to take some kind of help. But this time I'm going to take help from the CPU. So what kind of help? I need to be some instruction to be printed on my screen. It's in a message, it's in some kind of box. Now, whenever I say I need some instructions, so I'm going to define what are these. So this is my CPU. This is my RAM, random access memory. And this is me. And this is my computer. Okay, now, whenever I'm going to ask my computer to print something, when I need to print something on a screen, I give instruction to the computer with the help of a keyboard. So whenever I give instruction to the computer, actually, my computer give instruction to the CPU, to the central processing unit, which is actually called the brain of a computer. So when my instruction reaches towards the brain of a computer with the help of the language, which is called the Python, so it's gonna be like PY. With the help of a Python, the PY, the computer can easily understand. So this is a bridge. The Python is a bridge between the computer and the human, me and the computer. The Python is a bridge through which I'm going to connect towards the computer with the help of my language, that is Python. Now, when I give instruction to my system, so it automatically goes to my CPU. So my CPU will gonna find that helping library, this one. So whenever my computer have this library, it calls back. It calls back to my CPU, and CPU will gonna ask the computer, actually CPU is going to ask me indirectly, what do you want to be printed on this screen, on the screen. So I will type, message. So it's going to be like a message. So whenever I type a message, whenever I'm going to type a message, so I need, whenever I type a message, it goes instruction, go back to the CPU. Now, the CPU will gonna ask help again to the Tkinter, and this helping library say, this will be your message box in which the user, mean to say me, can have my message on our screen. So this is my first step. Now, when it comes back with this message box, the CPU will gonna ask the memory that now it's time you to create a space into the program memory. Now, my RAM will gonna have some space into the memory so that I can display a message easily on my screen. Now, what message I need to be printed on a screen? So I'm going to say, I have a main message box, a main message box, mean to say some instructions that need to be printed on a screen, that needs to be printed on a computer. That is TK. It's gonna be like think. So my computer will gonna think. So the CPU will gonna ask the memory once again. Now think what the user is going to be printed a message. So this think box directly link to the memory, and then the user will gonna put some instructions. Now user is gonna put some instructions over the message box. Now the user instruction. So user gave the instruction submit, and the user instruction in message box ask a question. Now the user is going to say, I'm going to ask a question from the memory that gonna be executed to my computer. So what question I'm going to ask? That is, this is Python class. So it's not a question, it's going to be like a compliment, but this is our dialogue. Ask question, mean to say it's a built-in dialogue which gonna be happen as it is. Now, this is for my interface. This is for my screen size. So I'm going to say, I need a screen of 100 by 100 pixels. So my screen actually contain 100 by 100 pixels. Now I have 100 by 100 pixel screen that is going to be printed. Now I need a helping button so that I can print. So I need a helping button in which the text is displayed, that is submit. So if you're gonna change the text, then yes, you can change the text. Okay, so let's change the text into like hello class. Okay, so I change the text into the hello class. Now, whenever I'm going to run the program, it will say hello class, and then it will appear this is Python class. Now, with the help of pack. So with the help of a pack means, now that's an important way. What does pack means? Pack means package. Now, what does it mean? What does mean package means? So package means square box, rectangle box, circle, or whatever we need to be printed. But right now we need to print a square box. How are we gonna know it's a square box? So whenever you have a pixels equally divided, so it means we are going to have a square box on our screen. So it means now our package contain a square box. Now our package contain a square box. Now the main loop, it means main function, what we need to be printed, and loop, main loop means what the main contains, print in this box, print to be printed in this box. This is how this program actually works. So let's play it. Make it run. Okay, so as I told you, I changed the text to hello class, and whenever I'm going to press this button, it will say this is a Python class. So this is actually the strings, and a little bit programming into a string can work easily. So this is how it works. Now, I'm gonna ask you guys, do you get it or not? So first of all, I'm going to ask Mushtaba. Do you get the point, Mushtaba?
Yeah, I got it. I actually added some extra stuff too. Instead of doing 100 by 100, I did 300, and I changed the text.
Okay. And what about you, Azan?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. What about you, Umar and Abu Bakr?
I got it.
Okay, Rehan
I
and
got
Arush.
it.
Okay, Rehan and Arush.
We got it.
Okay, do you find any difficulty till now? Okay, and what about you, Abdul Majid Qasim? You are not responding till now. I hope you are in good health. Okay. Now, let's take an other example of it so in this part, with the helping of these two things, we are going to make finding colors. Let's see. So for the colors, and I'm going to do with some random colors. So it's gonna be like colors. So with the help of a strings, rules, indexing value, now we are going to find some colors in the same way. Okay, so again, I'm going to take a help from the library and import settings. So from again, this one, and gonna import choose color chooser. Okay, so let's do it in something else way. So it's gonna be like, so it's gonna be like choose color. So let's see what's not going to be happen. Why it's not picking the library. Okay, it's not picking the library. It's not a problem. So we are going to do in another way. So color choose. So both are the same things. Okay. Now same, I'm going to define color, and what color do we need? And so I'm going to put the color code. Color code is not going to like a color. We are going to do code for a color. I'm going to choose colors from the above part. So it's gonna be like color chooser dot ask color. What do you want to choose? And I'm going to print a title of that title of the box, which is equals to, and it's up to you, colors or something like choose color. What you need to add on it, it's up to you. So I'm going to print color codes. Now I'm going to ask my computer, it's like main is equals to, again, TK. So I'm going to ask my main function. Now I'm going to made another button again. So B is equals to, so it's gonna be like button, again, main, and the text on my button, it's gonna be like colors or select color, you can say as select color, you can say it. And what color do you need? So I'm going to put a command for our colors. So that is choose, so it's gonna be like color, okay. And again, I need to print a pack of it. So P pack, B pack, the package, and my root, sorry, my geometry. So after, before, okay, let's take a print my geometry. So it's gonna be like main dot geometry, and as Mustafa said, 300 by 300 he put on the last program. So I'm going to put right here, and I'm going to print main loop. So let's have a look to the colors. And select colors. It's not appearing another color. So it's clicking, but the dialog box is not opening over here. Dialog box actually need to be appeared on. Okay, so I don't have a paint box actually. So that's why, but it's not going to be have the paint box on it. Okay. I guess that's a glitch. Okay, let's take it in a geometry of, like, I'm going to put this geometry over here. Let's run this again. Yep. Again, the same thing. Okay, so you will gonna run the same program, and you will have the text, you will have the color box on your screen as well. Why it's not showing onto my screen? I guess it's due to the Macintosh, I guess, but it's not like that way. So, okay, now for the last thing, we are going to make a game with the help of the colors. We are going to make a game with the help of the color, and it's going to be like the same way, but in different formats. So, and this game is going to be a very interesting one. Why? Because if you appear the red color, then the name of the color is red, but you have to print, you have to type the color of that variable, like the color of that variable. So let's make it happen, and I hope that will work, and I will gonna make sure that will work definitely on each and every system. So it's gonna be like color game, or today's last program with the help of strings. With the help of strings and index of the rule, so we are going to make with now this rule, the indexing rule. Now we are going to use the indexing rule in which we are going to make a game of colors. So I'm going to import again the helping thing, that is Tkinter, and import random. Okay, now colors. I'm going to have an array like this one, array like this one. So first of all, I'm going to have a red color. Then I'm going to have a blue one, or blue. I'm going to have green. You can add any color if you want. Pink. It's gonna be like yellow. It's gonna be like orange. So what we need most, that is white and purple. Okay, so it's gonna be like also in string, so it's gonna be like purple and PLACK. Okay, it's gonna be again in string, so black, and again in string, so that is brown. So this is my string in an array in a format of colors. Now first, so it's a game, so it's gonna be like we have a variable of a score. So right now we have a score like 0, so we don't have any score right now. Now I'm going to make a time, so it's gonna be like time left, that is 30 seconds. So I'm going to put time left, that is 30. Now I'm going to start a game, so I'm going to define a main body, so it's gonna be like start game, my start game, and I'm going to call a game as an event. Now I'm going to let you know what does this means, and if now I'm going to check the time left equals to 30. Why 2 times equals to? This time I'm going to compare my time left to this 30. So I'm going to compare both of them. If I say time equals to 30, it means I'm assigning the value 30 to this time. So I will make sure that you'll get it in a proper way. So now I'm going to put the countdown. So it's going to be like countdown. And don't worry about the red color. It's going to be like fine. And it's going to be appear the next color I'm going to print, I'm going to have in away. So now for the next color, I'm going to define next color. So it's define next. Okay, so it's gonna be like next color. Yes. And now I need to score if I guess my color is right. So I'm going to use global. Global is a type of a variable. It's a type of a variable. So it's gonna be like score, and I'm going to say global again for time left. So it's a type of a variable in which, actually the variable is our next topic, but for the games in a string, it's gonna be like the both of the way. So I'm going to show you how this whole programming stuff works. Okay, now I'm going to ask my CPU if my time left is greater than 0. If my time is greater than 0, left greater than 0, then E, then E dot focus, F-O-C-U-S, focus. E dot focus mean to say, need to focus how many colors do we left? How many colors do we left? And it's gonna be in set. So we need to focus how many colors do we left behind. So it's gonna be like E dot, and if we get to a lower color, mean to say if we get a lower color brown, so it's gonna change the color of the brown. How? If E dot get dot lower, so it's gonna be like the last color, which is equal, which is going to compare with colors and 1. So whenever I say the colors 1, so it's gonna be like red. Whenever I'm going to say color 1, it's gonna be like red. So whenever it's gonna be like lower, so it's gonna be like brown replaced with red. What does it mean? It means the brown will never come up in the brown color. So it will gonna come up with another color. It's gonna be red, black, blue, orange, or something like it. So it's gonna be like again lower. Now, if we guess it right, if we guess it's right, so score is equals to 1. So I'm going to add something into my scores. So I'm add something into my scores. And I'm going to have the instructions. Okay, so now if that doesn't happen, then I'm going to delete one color from the 0 side, and I'm going to say Tkinter dot end my game. So it's gonna end my game, and I'm going to do randomly shuffled my colors. Shuffle my colors. So it randomly shuffle my color, and I'm going to put labels, L-A-B-L label to my colors. So it's gonna be like configurations of my color, which is equals to FG, my favorite color. It's going to be like in string with strings, which is equals to colors. Index of 1 means to say red, and my text will appear in string with the colors of 0. So my red color, my blue color will replace with red, means the blue variable will come up with red color. Okay. Now the important part. When this happens, my score label, my score will be up. So my score will be up, and the text will assign to my score, C-O-R-E, score. And as we use concatenation plus string to my score, so it adds score to my original score. Now, it appears the time. Define count down, my time. Now, I'm going to talk about my time, the countdowns. Again, I'm going to say global. How many time do I have? How much time do I have left? If time left again is greater than 0, I'm going to I'm going to use the decrement of time because I'm going to count down from 30 to 0. So I'm going to decrement in my time left. So time left minus equals to 1. So it's going to be like 20 after 30 when game start, it's going to be like 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, and going to be like on to 0. Now I'm going to say my time label. My time label will appear on the configurations, and it's gonna say text equals to time left. It's gonna be like time left behind. And again, I'm going to use the concatenation plus string and going to ask how much time do I have to play this game. Now my time label after, if I score 1000, my countdown will start once again. If I score 1000, it only happens then if I score 1000. So I'm going to say main dot tk. Do we made a main before? Nope. Then okay, so it's gonna be like not main dot, so it's gonna be like main is equals to tkinter.tk. And so pardon the space, actually the space is not properly countable. Now what title I need to print on a screen, so it's gonna be like main dot title title, so it's gonna be like my color game. And again the size of my screen, so it's gonna be like geometry of my screen. So I'm going to replace the screen with the combination is going to be like 375 into 250, and you can do have any. So my instruction now, instructions of my game is, so I'm going to use Tkinter dot label, and it's gonna be like in main, and text will appear, that is type in color and type in color of the words, not the word text. Like I'll show you how does this means. Your text will appear, if your text will say red and you have to type the color, what does that color appear in that text? So it's gonna be like a tricky game. So I'm going to say font, which is equals to, I'm going to use font Lecta. So it's gonna be like okay, it's gonna be like HELVET Electra, and the font size will be like 12. So it's gonna be like decent. Now for the instruction packs, instruction start pack. Now this time I'm not going to take a pack from the main, so I'm going to take instructions pack from the instructions. So I'm going to say score LAPEL label, which is equals to the dot label, which means again I have a score label, so it's gonna be like main comma text, and what text I need to be printed on that dialog box. So press enter to start. So this is only the best text we have ever have. So gonna be like font again. I'm going to put the same font in this. So font is going to be like the same. So it's gonna be like rectangle, and it's gonna be in 12. The font, the size of the font is going to be 12, and I'm going to say time label. It's going to be like again dot label, and again I'm going to ask from the root text is equals to. So here we are going to print like time left behind. How much time do we left now? This time I'm going to use the concatenation because I need to calculate the left time behind. So I'm going to use the strings. How much time do we left? And then font. Again, the same font. So it's gonna be like Helvetia, and going to be like 12. So let's say. Now, here I'm going to use time label dot package of it so that we can print the time pack. And now I'm going to ask a dialog box. So for that, first I need to have a label of that dialog box. So I'm going to say be a label of that dialog box, which is equals to, it's gonna be equal to again Tkinter dot label, and I'm going to ask the same, what label do we have for the huge game? So it's gonna be like main dot, sorry, font. So I just need to print the font. So it's a label, it's a heading of that. So it's gonna be like and it's gonna be like in a huge font. So I'm going to set in a 60, or you can say in 40. Or now E equals to, E is the value which is going to be entered. So E is this value which is going to be entered. So E, it's going to dot entry and which. So in the main function, E is going to enter. So we need to enter into a main function. Now for my game to be started, so I'm going to write main dot bind function through which I'm going to start my game. So I'm going to put a dialog box in which if my game ends, so I ask, do you want to read the URL and return? And if yes, then I'm going to ask start game. And E dot back as I going to have and end the game. So it's gonna be like main dot main loop. So let's see, does this work? Okay, so here we go. Okay, so we have 30, time left 30. So type the color of the word that appear. It doesn't appear anything, like I guess it's white. So it's gonna be like, okay, so it's gonna be white. What color do we have? Let's see. White or red? Red. What color do we have on? So let's see, color. Okay, so we end up the time. Okay, so let's start it again, I guess. Again, we don't have any color to be appeared on a screen. So time is working good. Color. So it's gonna say the color one is the lower, e dot color is lower, lower, lower. Okay. So this is actually, it works, but it's not working due to, I guess, this lower function. If it's the color combination is not appearing on the screen properly. Color game text is good. Let's start it once again. And let's see, type in color of the words. Okay, let's see. Again, attribute functional error, it's not gonna be printed on that way. Okay. Okay, so it's gonna be like a color error. Function arguments and by the next color. Okay, so let's see what happens. Next color is going to be. So next color is time left. So we ask it for, if we, okay, it's clearly like space 0. Let's see. Score, it's gonna be like 0, 0, focus set. If e dot get, okay. Let's make it in a function. Let's make it in a function. So let's see. Does it work? Okay, it appears, but where does it goes? So it's gonna be like red. It's working, it's not giving us an error, but time is continuously working. Where does the answer goes? Words, word. Okay, let's take it from here. It's working. It's not showing us any error, but it's still not getting the colors. So let's get it through the defined colors. We define the colors, combinations of the next color, it define this focus. It's good. Okay, so if time left, next color adventure. So when it comes to the colors, it's gonna be like the lower. It's gonna be like the lower. Okay, if it's gonna be happen, it's going to be in lowercase. Okay, so score would be 1. Clear the text from the entry box. So it's gonna be like clear the text from the entry box. It's a good way. Now randomly shuffle the colors shuffled. So label dot configuration config figure that string starts from the color strings color that is label up to 1. So text string color and that's gonna be 1. Okay, it's gonna be like good way. So score label dot configuration. So text score, it's gonna be string. So these functions are going to be good. So countdown time is going to be happen. Now this is a main function in which we have printed things. So main is equals to Tkinter dot tk. So it's going to be good. title, it's gonna be game geometry. It's going to be, okay, let's take in a dimensional way. Let's see, instruction is equals to tkinter.label root text that we appear, that is good. Instruction.back, again the time.back. So the label, oh, label and LA label dot pack. So label dot pack, time dot pack, label dot pack, ethink dot pack, and focus epack, and e dot focus set. Okay, and then the root epack ends and focus. Okay, let's see. Does it work? Okay, so here we have a color like, I guess, white, W-H-I-T, white. Okay, now it's in orange. So the color is P-U-R-P-L-E, purple. Now yellow, it's in green. Blue, it's in, okay, orange, O-R-A-N-G-E, orange. And it's white, it's in blue. Okay, so now it's in pink, I guess. So red is in orange, yellow is in red. Okay, so this is how it's work. And why our score is not displaying on a screen? Now the only thing left is, where is our score? The score is not displaying on a screen. Okay, actually the score will happen, going to be here this way. Okay. So this is how actually this work. The color will appear in a different things. The color will appear in a different way. So you just have to make sure that your color will appear in the same way. So let's try it again. I guess it's working. It's not. Let's see. Brown. So it's gonna be like O-R-A-N-G, orange. Brown. It's gonna be like in little bit pink. Y-E-L-L-O-P. But score is not displaying on a screen. Now our major function is to display the score on our screen. So where is the score? Score. Global score. Score gonna be +1. Why it's not printing on a screen? Let's take. Do we have a score? Yes, this is a score label. And again, I missed the things. So it's gonna be like score label dot. Let's see. Do we have our scores right now? Okay, press enter to start. Oh yes, white is in yellow. Okay, blue is in red. Orange is in red. Green is in yellow, and white is in P-U-R-P-L-E, purple. That is 5. Okay, red is in P-U-R-P-L-E, purple. Brown is in yellow. What is this thing? It's in, I guess, white. Black is in purple. Red and O-R-A-N-G, orange. And we scored 9 out of, I guess, 10. So this is how this game works with the help of a string. We made this game. Now, how this whole program actually works. Let me tell you about this. So this is actually the game which is made up of with the help of strings. With the help of strings and the index of a string. Okay. Now let's take this, and I'm going to create, okay, an instruction box this time. So this is going to be my instruction box. Now, whenever I have some instruction from the system, so as I told you, we took help from our computer. So it's gonna be like we have, okay, let's take a box. So we have a CPU, memory, and me. And this is me. Okay, okay, so this is me. Now, whenever I have some instruction passed to my system, I have to ask my system. So this is my system. So whenever I'm going to say something, so I have to ask my system to do something for me. So whenever I ask my system to do something for me, the instruction will pass towards the CPU. So the instruction will pass towards CPU, and it's gonna be like our RAM. So this is going to be our RAM, and this is going to be our system and the CPU. Oh, sure, Mustafa, why not? Yes, you can see the lines after 52. Here you go. I'm going to print in the message box so you have the lines. Okay, here you have. Here you go. Now, what does we are going to have? So first, I'm going to ask my system to, I'm going to print something like this game. I need to be printed. So my system will going to ask the CPU for the instruction, and CPU will gonna ask the RAM, as we had done before. Now this time, I need to print randomly some things. So what I need to print randomly? I need to print colors in a random way. So I need colors to be printed in a random way, as you see. So I need to calculate the score, as we have, this is a game. So we have 30 seconds of the time. So we have 30 seconds for the time, and you can increase the time up to 60 seconds as well. So in this part, we have 30 seconds of a time. And whenever I'm going to ask my CPU for the instruction, so I need to start a game. So whenever my system starts a game, it call upon the CPU to start a game. So it's call upon the CPU. So the CPU will start the game. So I need to put a condition. That means I need to have a decision that I have to make. What type of decision I have to make? If my time left, if I have time greater than 0. If I have a time greater than 0 and less than 30 seconds. So less than 30 seconds, it will say, it will appear the countdown and the time as well at the same time. Now, again, now, whenever I have my system ready, my game is ready, it will appear the next color. My system will appear the next color, and the next color after red is maybe blue, maybe green, maybe pink, maybe yellow. Because of this random function, the color will appear in the random form, not in a sequence. So it will appear in the random form. Now, whenever I made my color correctly guess, when I made my color correctly guess, it will add a score to my total, and it will count down the time left. How much time do I have left total? And e.focus.set, so it calculates the time. How much time do I have left after 30 seconds? So it's going to be like 28, 29, 28, 27, and up to 0. So it's going to calculate the time. And for this part, it will find out the combination of a color if that combination of a color appears according to my decision. If I have that color, given from the above colors. If I have the color given from the above color, it will appear. Sure, Rayan and Rush. Yes, definitely. I'm going to repeat the instructions and each and everything, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so now I have to decide, do I have a color from the above list? So my above list is this one. So I have to make decision, do I have a color from the above list? If yes, if I have a color from the above list, then if I type into my dialog box, if I type anything into my dialog box, and then I need to be clear, so I need to use this instructions. So with the help of this instruction, whenever I type a color, it disappear and move towards the next color and calculate the time as well. So it shuffles the color, move towards the next color, and decrease the time left. Decrease how much time do I have left behind. So how much time do I have left behind? Now, the next part. Now the next part. After shuffling my color, after shuffling my color, my score will be added if I guess that right. After shuffling my color, my score will be added if I guess right. If I guess right, it increase my score and decrease my time left. It will increase my score and decrease my time left. As we all know how the games actually work on a system or anything on an Android or iPhone. Whenever it happens, it will calculate how much time do I have left behind to complete my score or to have my score. So whenever my time completed, it counts my time 30 seconds, and in that 30 seconds, how much score do I have? How much score? If it ends, it will calculate how much score I have scored. How much score I have scored with the help of that game, with the help of my instructions. Okay, now the next part. Now I'm going to make my system to think about it, what I just want to be printed on my screen. So I ask my system for the main function. Then I'm going to put a title of my game and the size of my screen. So this is the three things. Ask my system to be ready. Here, I'm going to say title of my game, and the third part, screen size of my pixel, So this is the three main functionality of our program, in which we are going to ask my system to be ready, the title of my game, and the screen size into pixels. Okay. Now, I need to put instructions. Now, what are the instructions? My instructions are, first instructions are label what I need to be printed on a screen. So type in color of words, not the word in text, which I had display. I'll show you, and the font type. This is the category of a font. Again, I need to print the instruction on a screen. So I say instruction.pack. So it's like when someone say it's pack up, like if you saw some instruction, like you have to do a pack up, like if you're going for a tour or a trip or something, like it's when your parents, your older brother, like you just have to pack your bags and let's go and be ready on that time for the schools or for a trip. So it's gonna be like the same package. You need an instruction into your backpack. So what type of instruction? These instruction like type color, words, not word in text, and the font category. Now, now I need to find how much score do I have. So I'm going to say my score label, press enter to start so I can make my score. So press enter to start so I can make my score. And then time. I need to calculate the time. How much time do I have left? And this is my time functionality I have from the strings and from the concatenation. So how much time do I have left? And again, I'm calling the package of my time. Now, I need my label, my game label, to be printed on my dialog box. I need the label, Tkinter.label, which is going to be printed in the font size that is 60 and in the font category. I need entry. So I need E, which is going to be have a major function in which we are going to add the colors and the combination of a color. So it's gonna say whenever you're going to say press enter, when are going to press enter, our games will start. And this is the main loop in which it works until the 30 seconds, until 30 seconds. The game ends in 30 seconds. So the game ends well in 30 seconds. Okay, so let's play it again. Okay, Mustafa, I'm going to get your program. Actually, I'm going to send you this program and you just have to make it run. Maybe the indentation will cause a problem, as I have the same problem before as you saw before. Then I make it correct. A little bit functionality would be missing. So let's play it again. And okay, so let's start it again. And it's gonna be say, okay, let's press enter. It's orange, so it's in a red color, and it's white. It's gonna be like orange and red, pink and red, green and pink, green and blue, pink and red, and again white, yellow and red, green, purple, and orange, orange. Okay, so it's not gonna be like happen. So I scored 7 this time. So this is how this game works. So actually, okay, let me show you the text. It's 60, so it's gonna display on the color game. So this is a color game, and this is the font size of my color game. If I say only a game, it will appear like a game, not a color game anymore. So it's appear game. So this is how actually the whole thing is work. Can I please try it? Yes, Rehan and Arush, you can try it. And if you want to access my system, then you need to do with the AnyDesk. And if you don't have the game, okay, let's make it work. So I'm going to send you the code in the chat box, or the Dr. Faisal will share you the code and instructions how you're gonna run the code. So if you find any difficulty in running the code, then you just have to let me know. And you'll have this recorded lecture. So you're going to have it in many ways, and the instruction of this lecture as well. So you can practice it by yourself. So let me ask you a question. Do you find any difficulty? Okay, so first, Mushtaba. So what difficulty do you get in it?
My code is when I click run, it's showing press enter to start, but when I click enter, it's counting down the time, but there's no color or name on there.
Okay, so I guess you made a mistake in did you write time pack? Okay, now time score. So I guess you missed the epack. You missed something like in the later one. Okay, let me share you the whole code. So let's do it. Maybe that's not printing over here. Okay. Let's have you the whole code. It's not printing, actually. The code is not printing over the chat box. Okay, let me share you the file of it. Okay, I'm going to share the file of this program. So everyone, you can easily run this program. And what about you, Azan Shahid? Azan?
No, I didn't get any problem while I was doing this code.
Okay, so have you done this code?
No, I'm not. No, wait, no.
Not yet. Okay, got it. You have to make it in a practice way. Okay.
Will you ever come back to this? Like, will you ever come back to this category of code?
Yeah, sure. Just a minute. It's gonna be like kids. So I'm going to send you the code so you can make it run on your. It's glitching. Okay, so where does I store the code? So it's gonna be like in kids and. Okay, so it's gonna be color game, py and open. So you guys have a file into your chat box, so everyone can easily download the file. So you have to access the file at any time. So if you find any difficulty, okay. Now Azan, this is a code. This is the code. So you guys have to run the code, and I don't see the file. Rehan, it's uploaded from my side, actually. So I guess you will see it. Just refresh it and you will see the code. And if you don't get it, I'm going to send it to you, the Dr. Faisal. So he will send you the file as well. Okay, Azan, now tell me about the problem you are having.
I didn't have any problem. I was copying it.
Okay, got it.
There's no problem.
Okay, so Abdul Majid Qasim, do you have any problem? And you're not still answering. Abu Bakr and Umar, do you have any problem?
I haven't done it yet. Can you send it to my AnyDesk?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to send a file so you can have the file and you will have it. And Rehan and Arush, you don't. I don't see it. I just refreshed. Okay, so if you're not going to see the file, and
I just forgot I was outside working.
you just.
I was outside working. Sorry, I forgot.
Oh, you don't be. I'm going to send you the file as well as a video recorded lecture, so you'll get everything. And if you don't get anything, you need help, you have my email and just ask and I'll get back to you. And for Umar and Abu Bakr, I'm going to send the same file as well to all of you so you can try it by yourself. And if you have any question regarding it, just let me know. Okay? So see you guys in the next class. And if you have any questions still, I'm not going to put any assignment today, because not even a task. Just your task is just to have to run this program, and if you have any query or any question, you just have to ask me. Okay, guys? Okay, so see you in the next class, and till then, if you have any query, you just have to ask. See you. Take care of
Okay.
yourself.
Bye.
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 Bye.